So I recently read. Is that boss music? Oh no. So I finally got around to reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I know I'm late to the party, and I'll explain why. Honestly, it's because it's a lit RPG book. I have never read lit RPG before, and I'm not a huge gamer. I think my most played game is Stardew Valley. What can I say? I like 'em cozy, which I guess you can argue is RPG. But I thought the book wouldn't be quite for me. So I made a pact with myself that I'm going to expand my reading horizons. And I've always seen the book, I've always heard about the book. I know how popular it is. But recently it exploded even more with the announcement of a television show. So I was like, I gotta check this thing out. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. Dungeon Crawler Carl tells the story of Carl and his ex-girlfriend's cat, Donut, sorry, Princess Donut, as they navigate an underground dungeon created by aliens for a intergalactic television show, where they have to fight a bunch of really nasty creatures in order to survive. I gotta say, there's a lot of things that just really worked for me. Matt Dinniman has a very unique sense of humor, and that humor shines throughout the book. This intergalactic game show is kind of run by this AI, and the AI is obsessed with Carl's feet, which is hilarious. Um, but also, there's a lot of exposition, there's a lot of information dumped throughout the book, but the AI does it in such a way where it's very humorous. You want to read all this information because it's really funny. Like whenever Carl and Princess Donut encounter NPCs or enemy mobs or bosses, the AI will generate text above these creatures, and it'll tell you their level, their name, and then gives you a very funny description about that creature. And it's all just very, very well done. I will say one of the things that surprised me the most was Carl and Princess Donut's relationship. And I know that sounds weird. If you haven't read the book, this is gonna be a minor spoiler. But whenever Carl and Princess Donut enter this dungeon, there's a lot of changes that happen to them, similar to a video game. So they have levels, they level up. They have potions and spells, and they have weapons and all this stuff. And one of the changes that Princess Donut undergoes is that she is now sentient and she can speak. And I think one thing that Matt Dinniman does very well is he makes Princess Donut her own character. Like, she's not just an animal that talks. Like, I often think if my dog could talk, what he would say, and it would probably just be like, belly rubs, ball, throw ball, give me food. Like, that would be it. Like, Princess Donut has her own like wants, her own desires. She has her own personality. It's a very strong personality, and it's very, very well done. And you can tell that relationship between Carl and her uh, has evolved, but it was also there prior to her becoming, sentient. Like Carl essentially took care of her, and Carl thinks back to those times when she would like sleep on his neck, and she still does that, even though she's now this hyper intelligent cat. And it's kind of sweet in a way. It's really nice. They really care for each other, even though they're the opposites. But you do get the sense that they've been friends for a long time, and I guess they really have. So I don't know why, but I always thought Carl was going to be this like gung ho killing machine that enjoyed, slaughtering all of these NPCs in the dungeon. But he's actually a really sweet guy. There's these moments throughout the book where, the Carl and Princess Donut enter these safe rooms, and they have televisions displayed, and they will show the number of survivors left in the dungeon. And every time they go into a safe room, uh, those numbers go down. And Carl is genuinely sad. He's seeing the human race dwindle before his eyes, and he's genuinely sad about it. And he's stuck in this live action video game. He's fighting for his life, but he never forgets what he's fighting for, and like I said, there's humor throughout, but it's mostly from the AI. Carl does get a couple of moments where he can, just take a moment and laugh, but for the most part, he's constantly fighting for his life, and he understands that a lot of other humans are currently dying. Another aspect that Matt Dinniman does very well is the action. I really enjoyed reading how, Carl and Donut use their, I'm sorry, Princess Donut, use their powers and their level ups, to kill these enemy combatants. I mentioned earlier that the AI is obsessed with Carl's feet. It's a running gag throughout the book, and it's hilarious. But his feet essentially get stronger and stronger as he levels up to where that's probably the strongest part of his body now. Like, he doesn't even need shoes. Oh, he entered the dungeon barefoot. So there's that. Matt Dinniman also does a very good job of setting up future events. So he's always mentioning like the next floor. So right now, Princess Donut and Carl are on the first floor, and they're always alluding to things happening on the ninth floor, the 12th floor, and they eventually run into a guy named Mordecai, who helps them throughout the rest of the book. And Matt Dinniman even sets up a relationship between Mordecai and one of the Intergalactic television show hosts named Odette. And it's these little things that he just sets up along the way that makes you want to keep reading, even if you understand that they're probably not going to get paid off in this book. And Matt Dinniman also sets up like the corporation that's running the game, the different alien races. Like, I don't even know how he keeps all of that together in his head, because it's an insane amount of lore that he's created, and the world building. It's so good. I don't know. It's very well done. I am excited to see what happens next in the series. So there's something like 9 books in the series. So it's a brilliant way to have the reader become invested in not only the characters but the story. Like, I want to know what happens next. Like, I'm gonna jump into book 2 after this. I want to see Carl and Princess Donut succeed. And I genuinely get this like dopamine rush whenever they level up, which I guess is akin to a video game. So yeah, it's a very good book. I highly recommend it. Have you read it? Have you read Dungeon Crawler Carl? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about it. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.